You really don't own nothing in this life. You don't own. This is a rented life.
True.
Ain't nobody better than nobody on this earth. You can't take it with you. All I can buy is cars and shoes, a bigger house, more cars. This is what money is. If you really break it down, there's nothing you can really do with it. You're just stacking it up to give it to somebody. Because if something happened to you, you're not taking it with you. So once I start thinking like that, the desire for me to chase in this business and compete went away.
Therapist said
95% of people do not heal between relationships. So what happens is we go through a relationship, it's traumatic, we go through the breakup. Then what we tend to do to numb the pain was we go right into another relationship, not realizing that we're dating the same person over and over again. They just change faces and names because we didn't realize that in order to change the mate, you got to first change the bait. Meaning we have to change how we're hooking people. If you fish with bass bait, you're going to constantly catch bass or grouper, right? Or trout, right? And in order to change the bait, you got to heal.
I heard you cannot play victim to the things that you attract.
Yeah.
Because the reality is we are the reason for everything that we attract, good and different
That's
and
right.
bad.
That's right.
And so that's why we have to look in the mirror.
We have to do the work internally ourselves.
I project myself outside of myself and I talk to myself when I'm speaking.
Peace to the crowd, peace to the collective, man. Give yourself a round of applause. We back with another daily energy reading, keeping this thing consistent, keeping this thing in flow and in motion. Today we're talking about Mars square Pluto to be exact. And I just got a few things that I want to talk about with you guys. It's not going to be a super long video, but at the same time, make sure you take notes and be in tune with the energy around you. It's the Hood Mystic reporting live from the D, here with another daily energy reading. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is from this book, Opening to Channel, by Roman Packer. Or no, I don't know who this book by. Let's see if we can get an author. Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Packer. And this section is called Channeling is a Skill That Can Be Learned. Your brain is physically composed of right and left sides. Normally, the right side of your brain deals with intuition, feelings, nonverbal communication, creativity, and inspiration. The left side of your brain uses memory, logic, words, and language. Its functions synthesize, organize, and categorize your experience in a rational way. Most guides often transmit to the right side of your brain, which is more receptive and sensitive to impressions. Channeling requires the establishment of a particular type of flow and a synchronization between both sides of the brain. This is accomplished in the more calmer, more peaceful trance states, allowing greater receptivity to the higher realms. So what stood out to me in that, it was actually what I read before I went to sleep in preparation for this video, is the calm, relaxed trance states, which I feel in these days and age, or these days and times rather, is a hard thing to get your mind around, because you are constantly bombarded with the internet, family, friends, career, all of the things that you want to achieve in life. You're very rarely calm and peaceful and allowing your guides to transfer higher level knowledge to you. So, what we've been talking about this week in our daily energy readings is that be sure to check those videos out. Just check my YouTube page, they'll be up there. Um, we've been talking about not eating, well, not eating the food and reading the menu is a problem in our spiritual development, where it's a lot of people that I know that will value their spiritual knowledge based upon who and what they listen to, what they read, who they know, the places that they've been, and none of these things are indicative of eating the food. You don't have to be spiritually in tune to book a flight, to go to a retreat, to be around a bunch of people and have feel good energy, be in a beautiful place, right? That does not mean that you are eating the food. And so many of us are saying that when I am able to go to Tatlawaka and have ayahuasca, I'm going to be spiritual and I'm going to be healed. So in the meantime, in the between time, I'm going to watch videos, read books, take notes, because until I get to whatever and be in front of whoever, I'm just going to just not be spiritual. Well, in my work, which we'll start talking about now, there's a link in the description for the Moon Journal. It's a good book to get. It's not that expensive, and it'll help you understand and understand the daily application of spiritual technology to help you bring about things in your life. Today is Tuesday. Today is ruled by Mars. So today is an action day. In reference to the previous days and in reference to getting something popping, maybe you need to take a couple of days to plan. Maybe you need to take a couple of days to implement. And once you get into the third day, you can feel better about putting it in motion. So many times we are planning, and we never put things into motion. So Tuesdays representing Mars is an action day. In the Moon Journal, you will see all of the things that I'm showing you here. Just want to make sure y'all seeing what I'm seeing. And it's giving you all like the basic details of what's taking place and why does the Moon Journal work. But what I'm trying to show you now is that there is a lineup for each and every day. So why is this good? Because say for instance, you're waking up today and you don't know the proper energy of the day. Well, today is just a random day for you and you're just keeping your fingers crossed, hoping that everything goes as planned. But then when you think about your intentions, when you think about your plans, your goals, none of that is random. And the reality of bringing things into manifestation is that it's going to be a consistent effort to do so. So if you're on it every single day and you're putting in the effort and you're aligning the energy and you're aligning your chakras, you're more than likely to accomplish your goals. What we tend to deal with is I want to accomplish this thing. I want to start my business. I want to do whatever. But then I'm just going to be random. And whenever I get the time to do what I want to do, then I'm going to do it. What I've realized maybe over this past 2 weeks is that there needs to be a constant, if not daily, application of spiritual technology, especially in the world where there's daily buffoonery, constant buffoonery, always minstrelling, and it's never a place where spirituality is a constant force in our lives. It comes and it goes. It's real, it's not real. With my work and my place on the earth, it's just me being consistent, and that's just the end all be all to it. So Sundays are target days, Mondays are flow days, Tuesdays are action days, Wednesdays are connect days, Thursdays are release days, Fridays are purify days. Saturdays you recharge and you get set up for the whole thing all over again. And we're going to look at this thing, we're going to look at life on a consistent, we're going to put pressure on our intentions. When you do it like this, it's almost like your intentions have no excuse not to manifest. But if you're not consistent, if you jumping on here and there, whenever it feel good, whenever you got the time, it's going to feel like spirituality is fake. It's going to feel like spirituality is not real and you're just wasting your time because you are not consistent. So let's talk about Mars and Tuesday and today. We're talking about our solar plexus chakra. We're talking about action. And we're talking about initiating our intentions. First things first, what is your intention? What is your flow? How are you able to get this energy popping off? One of the things that make Tuesday so powerful is if you go through Monday in some form of semen retention or sexual energy, which is then built upon if Sunday you did a root lock ritual. You had your target, you implemented your flow. Your flow is your sexual energy, it's your vitality, it's your confidence. One's in the chat if you see beautiful people, if you know a beautiful person that has low self-esteem. It could be you. One's in the chat if you know a beautiful person with low self-esteem. Now throw an additional one in the chat if you know a not so beautiful person with high self-esteem. If you can bear witness to these types of energies and these types of concepts, then you know that sexual energy is much more important than how you look. Let's just be honest. I'm not the most attractive person in the whole entire planet, but you think that I give a fuck? You think that's going to stop me from cracking a baddie? It's not. It has never been. I knew girls was crazy when I was 16. I didn't have no shoelaces. I was 300 and something pounds, and they was going crazy. And I was a hot mess. So sexual energy and good looks are not synonymous. They're not one and the same. They're two different things. And if you work with your sexual energy, your purity, your cleanliness, your hygiene, nothing is more attractive than a hygienic person. When you go down there and it smells like flowers and roses, that's going to lock somebody in. They going to forget what you look like when that thing smelling like goddamn perfume, natural perfume. It's called pheromones. What are the blocks to your initial intention? If you can identify any blocks to your initial intention, it's time to put action behind it. It's time to put action behind it. So let's look at the chart and let's make heads or tails of this energy. When I look at their chart, I come up with the title of the video. So I'm gonna explain how I got the title of this video. So when we look at Mars and Aries, Mars is the planet of Aries. It is the start of how you're going to act in this matrix. Pluto, the planet of transformation, is what you are turning into. So the easiest way I can explain Pluto is a caterpillar and a butterfly. The caterpillar thinks his whole life is going to be a caterpillar. And depending on how it feels about that, it can feel good about it, it can feel bad about it. But the caterpillar is the caterpillar. Might go to caterpillar college, get a caterpillar degree, have a caterpillar family, and live happily ever after. But the end all be all to a caterpillar life is to be a butterfly. You must completely transform and change who you are. You no longer can do caterpillar things when you become a butterfly. So you're completely transformed. The analogy is that humanity, you, me, your mama, your daddy, we are changing in the most spiritual, realistic, matter of fact way. The issue is if people are stuck in the 3D reality. The beautiful part of Pluto is that it moves slow. So I'll give you an example. In 2017, I stopped eating meat. New Year's Eve, 2017, I stopped eating. It makes sense to me now when I'm at the grocery stores and I'm finding out they are putting red dye in the beef so it can look more alive. And then I'm just like, damn, this is like low key cannibalism on the lowest of keys. It's a real bad thing to be out here eating meat, especially from the grocery store. But my spirit had already told me stop eating meat. So when I'm doing research, it make more sense. Meditation and crystals and chakra work and all of this in the next 10 to 15 years is going to be a normal thing that you must understand. Even your highest levels of doctors don't connect the spiritual to the scientific. But what I've done with my work over these past eight or so years, I've done nothing but connect. Oh, the spiritual is not different from the scientific. Why would it be? It's just that we are not taught the scientific and the spiritual actually connect. When you study a vessel, it's a spiritual device. Now, if you are to understand and overstand your body as a spiritual device, how are you treating it? And how are you moving throughout this matrix? Do you know that you will evolve into a butterfly? Or do you think that you're just going to live a normal human existence? Depending on how you feel about those two things, will create your mood for Mars square Pluto. If you know that you're not going to be this person that's going to work at this call center or be the security guard or be this Amazon truck driver forever, and you know that if you do your spiritual work, you'll evolve into greater and better heights, then you will put the action behind it and do the spiritual work necessary because you know that your life is going to change. However, if you think that the Amazon factory job, the warehouse job, working at a gas station, clocking in at CVS is your end all be all, that's what you're going to do. And it can be toxic relationships, toxic environments, wherever you find yourself at now. Mars and Aries is saying you better act like you're going to make the money. You better act like you're going to write the book. You better act like it, because if you it's counterintuitive and it doesn't make sense, but it makes all the sense of the world. If you don't write the book won't be written. Right? That's like so simple. It's so simple, but how many times do you think that a person is going to tell me, "Hood, I want to write a book." Happy birthday. You would then put your energy into writing the book. That's the planet of action. Now, Mars and Aries is the primary thing that we must do. When we talk in spiritual communities, though, there's very little action in reference to the thing that we truly want. And it makes perfect sense to me. If you truly want something, you wouldn't put action behind it, because to put action behind it, you wouldn't want it, you would have it. What is the evolution of your existence as a human being? Is what Pluto and Capricorn is saying. A square is like catching you off guard. A square is like, oh, I don't want to face this reality. However, the song's popping up in my head. I gotta face reality. There's no more us. I think that's Mary J. Blige. What is the next phase? If you know the next phase, then you put the action first. The action doesn't come after you figure it out. So we're looking at Sabian symbols right now. Mars, Aries at a 12 degree, which is expressing the soul freedom. How do you act in that energy? How do you express the freedom of your soul? Because regardless of what you've been through, the mistakes that you've made, the good things, whatever you experience, your soul has always been free to be itself. If a person is so mad at you that they want to even unalive you, they could never unalive your soul. Your soul is forever free, able to help you and guide you. Your soul is your magic. Your soul is your science. Your soul is your energy. But do you act in unison with your soul? If you can't answer that question, or if you don't know, the answer would be, are you relaxed and receptive? If you don't know if you're relaxed or receptive, are you busy? Do you got a lot of things to do? Do you control your time and day? Can you say, I'm going to take this hour for myself so I can meditate? Or do you feel under the gun to do a whole bunch of stuff? And on this channel, it's single people with no kids, with all of the time in the world, but it's also families of 8 with little kids. So if you are a single person, you don't have kids, and you don't have many responsibilities, There is no excuse. If you do have kids and you have a ton of responsibilities, there are no excuse because at the end of the day, it's night. And also, who you are ultimately over the lifetimes that you have existed have been the soul. The soul is perpetually free, but ignorance of the soul puts it in bondage. Not able to work with or listen and receive from the soul puts it in jail. How do we express our soul freedom today? Through action, through intuition and action. Shout out to Nike and Phil Knight. Just do it. And it sounds crazy, but every time somebody tried to get some buns, the girl was like, "No, I don't want to do it right now." And then you like, "All right, sis, cool." Wait. I didn't mean like don't do anything though. I wasn't talking, I didn't really mean it like that. Come on now. Get with it. No means yes, and yes means yes. Just kidding. Just jokes. There exists a higher cosmic order which stands above, beneath, and within everything that human society tries to control. Yesterday, we talked about Moon opposed Mars and we brought up chaos. Just for a little quick review, what is the real chaos? And you want to type chaos, THEOI, to get the real Greek mythology. Got all of the gods, the real shit. That's T as in Tom, HEOI.com. If you want real Greek mythology. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm going to just try to get a definition. Chaos is the vacant, infinite space which existed according to the ancient cosmogonies previous to the creation of worlds, and out of which gods, men, and all things arose. When we are meditating, when we are eating the food, we are dealing with chaos. We are dealing with the thing that has created everything. Everything that we see have been created from a primal point of reference that is accessible by you. Through the discipline, through the order, through the regularity of spiritual work. The issue always lies when we become off and on and off, with it some days and not with it other days. That is the enemy. That is who you need to fight. Your inconsistency when it comes to your own spiritual development. So you could begin to get into the space where, oh, I can create all of this. I can connect to whoever I want to. I can do whatever I want because I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I have an enormous amount of power. If you wanted to make it to the NBA, you couldn't just show up to the gym and say, I want to play. You would have to practice. You would have to get better. You would have to run drills. So what is your spiritual practices? If you have no spiritual practices, life is kicking your ass. Your demons are kicking your ass. Your girlfriend kicking your ass. The job kicking your ass because you haven't even understand how strong you are at an energetic spiritual level. This has nothing to do with the ego. Has zero to do with what you've accomplished, who hurt your heart, who broke your heart, who did you wrong. It has nothing to do with this. If you can get past all of that, you can tap into chaos. It is this that each of us is free. And when we talk about chaos, you can't talk about how the white man oppressed you. You can only say, I have infinite power within me, infinite freedom within me. You can't touch this, MC Hammer. And when all of us express this freedom spontaneously in good faith, then all is right in the heavens. So we're talking about a spontaneous action. And the second Sabian I want to talk about is Pluto, Capricorn 7, which is the visionary. Who are you transforming into? You are transforming into someone who knows it's natural, right? It's a natural process for human beings to know what's going to happen before it happens. When I started my business, I knew it was going to be successful because I had channels from Hugh Hefner and Dick Gregory. They gave me the whole blueprint way before I was even able to implement the blueprint, way before I was going to meet the people that was going to assist me in creating the business. But with all of that being said, they gave me the name, they gave me the animal, they gave me the totem, and it was a vision for me. I could see it, I just couldn't accomplish it. What do you see inside of yourself this morning, this day, that maybe you don't have all of the supplies, maybe you don't have all of the resources, skills, but you see it within yourself? This is what you call taking a leap of faith. This is the day that you act in accordance with the vision that you have for yourself. Now, some of you can clearly see it, some of you have no idea, but the action is the same. Just know that you know that you know, and every action will manifest itself as this is what you are supposed to do, even when it's bad. Usually, when it's bad, that's when God is working with you the most. When you are going through something and you're learning the lesson, that's when God is working with you the most. If God always gave you everything that you wanted, you would never have any character to develop and you wouldn't even understand what people are going through. People are catching L after L after L. And what is the solution? The chaos within, the soul, the all encompassing energy that we can't see, can't feel, can't touch, but we have to know that is real. And I'm showing you these things on the screen so you can bear witness to, so you can understand that this is not something that I'm creating or making up. Whether it is a small family or a world religion, a group exists that has its own identity and purpose, which are above and beyond the individuals that comprise the group. There is a group soul acting as the group consciousness and communicating its perceptions and plans in some symbolic form. So, what is the disconnect with what I'm saying and what a person might usually be experiencing? The major disconnect is that people are only thinking about themselves. They're only trying to figure it out for them. And I tell people, well, I told my wife very recently, the thing that catalyzed my spiritual development when I was reading all the books and doing all the meditations, trying to get things for myself, and it didn't specifically do anything. To be honest, I was living in my aunt's basement. I didn't have no money. I barely had a job. I think I had a temp job service, and it was just bad. And I was still doing spells and I was still doing rituals to benefit myself. And nothing was happening. What was the shift for me was when my cousin was in LA, Atlanta, trying to do his music thing, right? And we would be talking, and I would just be like, yo, I'm not even gonna like worry about me. I'ma just send my energy to my cousin and hope that he becomes successful. And I went to sleep and I had a vision of myself being a Buddha. And I was sitting there and I was just sending out energy. I was just sending out crazy energy. And I was like, oh, okay. And then my cousin had, I don't know the timing of it. This was years ago. But he hit me back. He like, bro, I just wrote a song for Fabulous. I just got a placement, bro. I was like, damn, that's crazy. This shit work. Now it's all him. He did the work, but I know my intention. I wanted him to be successful. I wanted him to make it in music. That was, I didn't even worry about myself. I did not care about myself. And then that just kind of snowballed into who you see today. I'm good, but I send out energy to help other people. I want you to have an inner experience, to see yourself, to see your gifts. If you are a shoe salesman, you wouldn't sell shoes to yourself. If you were a shoe repairman, you wouldn't say, I got this business, and I am going to repair these shoes only for myself. Does that make sense? To me, it makes zero sense. Who can you help? Who can you pray for? What is the collective? Now, I've done a lot of work in this area, especially for my business. Like, I got a whole network of strangers that sew into my business. And the more spiritual work, I grow that group of strangers. The people that need my services come to me, get my services, and it benefits me because I'm able to take care of my kids without working a 9 to 5. But this is strategic. This is something that I even have to expand, right? I have to expand it in a space where I can help other people and other people can be helped. So, with all of this being said, I bear witness to the group soul. The group soul is the soul that exists outside of your ego, where it is only concerned with doing your work. And the thing about doing your work should not solely benefit you. That doesn't make sense. How many times have a person opened up a restaurant just to feed itself? How many times have a person opened up a boutique just so they can clothe themselves? That doesn't make sense. It makes zero sense. This is the God of the group, whose face is the collective projection of group members, whose earthly voice is carried by those whose openness, faith, and sensitivity enable them to be a medium for its message. So, if you remember what I was reading at the beginning, where you want to hear from your soul, but you have to relax. It's hard to relax when everything you're thinking about is yourself. And it's real. I'm sure you got friends that got millions by now, got families, done lost weight, done did a whole bunch of great shit, traveled all over the world. Your ass got $20 in your bank account, feeling like an utter failure. All of those thoughts, all they're going to do is stop you from receiving the messages from your soul. That's all they going to do. So, the power of action. A big challenge with mental training is not getting lost in overthinking. Meditation is not overthinking. Meditation is not thinking at all. So when we talk about meditation, more or less, it just opens you up to more and more overthinking. So try a guided meditation to relax the body and calm the mind. A guided meditation to relax the body and calm the mind. A guided meditation to relax the body and calm the mind to reduce overthinking. Even when we're moving the body, part of our attention can still be focused on thinking and interpreting and deciding what to do. This interferes with action. Remember what I said about like all your friends, millionaires traveling around the world, and you got $20 in your bank account? All of that may be true, but you think about yourself too much, and that gives you a strange fatigue that makes you shut off the world around you and cling to your arguments. The moment I interject what we could possibly do, and you say, well, you know, the government is against us right now, we shouldn't do that, then the reality, the conversation is stopped, because all the moving and shaking is taking in place is happening regardless if the government is doing whatever it is that they doing. The whole entire time, life can happen, and nothing outside of you is going to stop you. The only thing that stops you, ironically, is you and your ability to overthink. Thinking is not action. Thinking is not problem solving. Problem solving is a set of techniques that you specifically use to find effective solutions, as opposed to critical thinking, which is a lifelong practice you use to improve your thinking process. You can use it to resolve challenges as they happen or prepare preemptive solutions when you predict a challenge might happen. So I'm not going to read all of that. It's just a thought that comes into my mind. When you are problem solving, you're not thinking. You're already in the midst of solving the problem. It's like when you call the plumber to fix the drain. It's just a motion and movement of getting things popping. Whatever you're going through, whatever you want to accomplish today, understand this. A man of knowledge lives by acting, not by thinking about acting, nor by thinking about what he will think when he is finished acting. You just do it. Shout out to Phil Knight and the Nike family, Jordan, Carmelo, Anthony, and them. Just do it. Just do it. I don't got a car. Just get on the bus. I don't got a man. Just tell him, call him and tell him we go together now. Real bad. It is difficult to keep your attention focused in the body if you think about keeping attention in the body. Rather, focus on feeling what the body is doing. Feelings are sensations that have nothing to do with thinking. So, say for instance, you fidget, and me, I fidget a lot. I fidget with, like, I do this. I like tap my heel real bad. That's a telltale sign that my frequency is dropping. So I instantly like, okay, let me stop. Let me relax. Let me get into my body. Let me figure out what the problem is. And then from there, the solution is there. When I'm in this mode and I'm just hyper and I'm just like, I don't know, I'll never be able to accomplish my goals. I'll never be able to receive from spirit what it is I should do at a moment to moment to moment to moment basis. All you have to do is relax to receive. Easier said than done, but at least you was on the live today and heard, let me relax, let me act in accordance with my soul, and let me make some changes in my life. If I'm going to sit and think about it and dread and say, oh, I fucked up, I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did that, I'm fucked up for this, everybody knows, and I don't think I have enough money and I really need to move and this, that, and the third, like, let it all go. Relax. What should you do in this moment? 10 times out of 10 is cleaning up that junky ass room. 10 times out of 10 is vacuuming out the car. 10 times out of 10 is going to get your car an oil change, right? Do the things that you need to do today. Don't worry about anything else. And if you want to be helped, this is the major key. If you want to be helped, help somebody else. Even if you don't know how to help them, pray for them. It's power in praying for your family members. It's called loving people from a distance. It's super powerful. The more you help people out, the more you into your God force energy. And this is who you changing into. You will be the person that people come to for help and guidance. And the difference is, the difference is you're not sitting around in the woe is me energy thinking that you just some lame ass person because you had some freaky sex last night. You still a god. You still a goddess. Nobody can take that away from you. Even if they take away the vessel, they can't take away your godhood. The opportunity that you have to tune in, to tap in, is going to require consistency, and it's going to require faith, and it's going to require action. If you are consistent, if you trust in your soul, and you are acting in accordance with your soul, you will not lose. If you overthinking, stagnant, and not moving, it don't matter what video you read. It don't matter what video you watch, rather, what book you read, what TV show, what documentary. If it doesn't inspire you to act, it was just a masturbation. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like the video. Check out the first link in the description. I uploaded all of the root and sacral chakra. That was my goal over these past 2 days. Now I'm going to get into the motion. I pulled out Chakra Nova. I'm about to rework my notes and create a slideshow for the solar plexus. Gonna have education for the solar plexus, for Jupiter. This is going to be for all of my Patreon, all of my Substack members, and all of the Mystery School members. The Mystery School is something that I'm trying to get new people into the mystery school, people that don't know me, know my content, things of that nature. What is the mystery school? It is a spiritual social media app or website where it's just like Instagram, Facebook. You can post pictures, you can meet friends. You will know, like, if you're in the DC area, like Woo, if you're in the DMV area, other people in the DMV area would know. So that's why I'm trying to get this thing to 10,000 people. I'm trying to grow this thing to a lot of people so we can know where people is at. And then if we want to do meetups or events, we'll just be like in the app, hey, we in Atlanta, we in the DMV, things of that nature. So I'm only saying this is because it requires people and it requires you to be active. And that's just something that you either feel inspired to do or not inspired to do. The courses are $5 a month, or you can join the mystery school for 100% free. The social media aspect, the safe space where we're sharing and talking, and I'm putting out icebreakers every day to just engage and just start the conversation. Because my goal is not today, right? The goal is in the future, just to operate and run the social media. I want at least 10,000 people in there, and I don't even know 10,000 people. So it requires you and me to spread the word. Do you want a social media experience that is not memes and girls twerking, scam artists, and things of that nature? You just want a regular, basic, with regular, normal people just living life, sharing their experiences, and growing spiritually? Then join the mystery school. The link is in the description. Just want to thank y'all for rocking with me on this episode of the Daily Energy Reading. Today, we discussed the power of action. The reason that we discussed this is because today is ruled by Mars, the planet of action, and action is much more powerful than thinking. Okay? Action is much more powerful than thinking. So, with all that being said, I want to thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in with me, rocking with me on this episode. Tomorrow, we'll be back with Wednesday. We're going to be talking about some money magic with Mercury. So, be sure to hit the notifications, subscription, because there's no real set time. I'm trying to get on here before I go to the gym. So, with all of that being said, let me go ahead and end this video and go get it in before I have to do readings for the rest of the day. Book a reading, do all of that good shit. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting this channel. But I hope that you listen to the words and implement action and daily spiritual development so you do not fall off the wagon. All right. For all I said, peace, and I'll see y'all on the flip side.
Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. You are traveling